Done.
Thank you. It's June 9th. Daily Scrum meeting for R1. I'm gonna share my screen. All right, I think John did quite a few cleanup yesterday for on the board. So, so this one, I think he added some tasks. Yeah,
I can explain. Sorry, I can explain what I did. Is in one of the we had an issue that was like set up management cluster or something. That one's working in our sort of standard E2E. So I actually closed that. Okay. And noted in our Epic the things that have been closed, and then I split out to try it in these different environments, which I think is what we've talked about doing and folks were working on. So I just split those into separate issues.
Yeah. I think this one is Liam, I think, right? This particular stuff. So any updates on this one for the OpenStack?
Well, it's Feecraft that's not there, so I don't know if he's on the call.
Oh, okay.
Just a minute. Yeah, he's just after joining, so I guess he can. Yeah, there you go, Feecraft.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I was late on. Sorry.
Yeah, they were. So Bala was just wondering how the manual test of run of Sandbox provisioning in OpenStack issue is coming on.
Yeah, so yeah, we're just hitting issues. We're hitting similar issues with the port secret not getting created from the token, and then obviously the controllers, the port controller and the Nephew controller can't connect to Katia, I'm thinking. So yeah, it seems to be replicated, or seems to be repeated issue on each VM we tried to spin up. Just debugging it with John at the moment.
Okay, but they're all the kind cluster in the same VM, right?
Yeah, all in a single VM. Yeah, there should be enough resources and stuff on the VM.
I think it's a timing issue, because if you actually after the install do it manually, just destroy the three packages and then reapply them, it works, and the secrets all get created. So just on the first time, maybe something isn't spun up. That one thing I noticed is the resource controller, the reconciler on the first run starts and then crash loop back us off 3 times and then drops out. I don't know if that's significant or not. So then if you
who is crashing? Is the Porsche controller is crashing or what?
So we were poking around on this on Slack. You can see the logs on Slack. Like Porsche controllers is crashing, Nephew controllers is crashing, and it's erroring out on sort of timing out on syncing on the on the resources, which I've seen happen
on the
before,
cache.
those caches. Yeah, when the permissions are wrong, but we checked. Yeah. What's that? Yeah, we checked
normally when the permissions and the CRDs are in the system.
I think so, because otherwise you would get a different error saying that it can't start the controller because the CRD doesn't exist, and it actually has the CRD names there. So it seems to be a permissions issue, but we looked and they're there. So it could be some. There's been other weird things during the install on this environment where the like one of the functions wasn't running, like wasn't changing the names properly of like, even though it works everywhere else. So there is some timing issue, I think, maybe in kept that's causing something weird to happen in this environment. But it's weird because it's just an Ubuntu VM, right? At this point, like it shouldn't matter.
Is it ARM? Is it ARM or is it ARM or is it Intel? Is it AMD or
Intel? Yeah. But what the root cause is that the secrets aren't created. The secret creation crashes, and then nothing will connect. That's what's happening.
Right,
the tokens exist. The tokens exist. I don't know if that's relevant or not, but the related secrets aren't there.
These are the secrets that, when you run it the second time, are actually created. I just put them up in that Slack. Check.
And these are
Oh,
the secrets, the secrets for ports. So for ports to connect, right?
It's it's the secrets are
so
that
yeah,
are management access.
let's not debug it here, probably.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's clearly weirdness going on. You know, so we're gonna have to figure that out. But there's
So,
some weirdness, underlying weirdness here.
so, but I also heard from Liam that first time it has an issue, but the second time it works. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Is that...
So if after the install of the management cluster, you just destroy those 3 kept packages and then in management staging and the management with the root sync and the management without the root sync, and then recreate them in the reverse order, it works. Everything comes up then, and the pods stop crashing. So it seems okay.
So just I'll say I've seen a similar, or what I think is a similar issue, timing type issue like this with kept during the provisioning process. So Vish had this problem where he ran the provisioning and everything was going fine, but then when it went to do kept live apply on a certain package, it complained that the CRDs didn't exist, but they should have existed because they were installed quite some time before. So there's something going on. And so what I just used the giant hammer of, if you get a failure out of kept live apply, just sleep for 5 seconds and try again. And so we could do a workaround like that. Maybe it's just that we don't actually see an error in the kept live apply now. I don't think we're just, so it's just that we see an error later and then Liam goes back and recreates those and then it all works. So I suspect it's the same timing issue somewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't, if we can't detect it when it happens.
Yeah. Just to clarify on, I think, is it ballot typing here? But in terms of the first time, so we're running the GC init script, but then obviously Liam is applying a manual workaround to reinitialize the kept packages to bring the system up.
So the errors we're seeing are after those workarounds or before the workaround?
Before, so once we run the script, the secrets are missing, the pods will crash loop. Liam debugged and recreated or removed the 3 kept. So I'm pretty sure it's the workload clusters, the management cluster setup at the end of the install Sandbox script.
It's the last one, the ones that.
Yeah, so those 3 that you apply the function there for that, John, to install those manually. So if you reinitialize those manually, it seems to bring the system up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking for if at all we not fix this or deprioritize for any reason, well, we should document it as a known issue on the workaround, like what we discussed.
For sure, that's for sure. But we should try to find the root cause.
Yeah,
because if we can it's reproducible, it seems, right? So that means that.
Is there
You have to do a full install to get it, unfortunately, every time. Yeah, but we can reproduce it by stopping there.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I don't want to take. We shouldn't debug it here, but it's just a question. Does when we run the kept packages, does it connect to the internet? Does it pull stuff from the internet? Does it pull images and stuff like that? Or sorry, I should know more. But yeah.
Yes,
so,
I mean kept itself not, but the when you apply it to the cluster, it's so the Kubernetes will go to the Docker runtime and he will pull the images from the internet.
Okay.
Well,
from wherever they
kept might if you're doing a kept function eval, right? It might pull the function images. So there's some chance, depending on what the pipeline, it might as well.
So John,
but you should see an error.
When we pick the Porsche binaries or the Porsche drops, do they also run any of this end-to-end tests and do any integration and tests that we are able to look at to see if it is issue to our?
There's a set of Porsche end-to-end tests that run on all the builds, but I don't think they're, as far as I know, no, we didn't see this.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I know. Let's. I suggest probably trying to.
This is
figure
on
out what
Slack, right?
Scrum
It's on
looks-
Slack.
Yeah.
I'll have a look to the logs as well. But yeah, if John, I don't have a good idea.
Yeah, I think probably then I was thinking probably if it is reproducible, most likely it's fixable as well. In the worst case, probably we may have to document this. I hope not, but I just noted that down in the as a comment.
Mhm.
So can we move to the next issue? Just wanted to.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. So this is for Mac Fusion. I think this was it Antu who planned to do this one? I think so. I think she was the one who.
Yeah, in past calls, if she's not on the call, she also said that she's not
Yes,
not going to have as much time. So, so I'm not sure she's been able to really look at that. I just split it out into the separate issues so we can track it. Again, all these three are like
nice
know,
to have.
all things they're all nice to have. We want to have them, but we have a one working example that's at least something.
Yeah, I think so. I think once we get probably OpenStack one would be a.
And I added VMware there because I know Dennis was working on that, so I figured we should track it since he was doing it.
Okay, what's your Dennis? Okay.
The next issue I'm saying is on VM. Oh, vSphere. Okay, you're looking at. Sorry,
I think there's a lag. Yeah. Dennis, are you in the call? Sorry, I'm not able to see the Zoom window.
Yeah, I'm here, but it's in progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not just like, if you take just a virtual machine, it probably will be automation for virtual machine. But what we want to do is integrate it with Tanzu. Let's say we have clusters created by Tanzu and then add Nephia there. So this is at least what we are looking inside.
Oh yeah, we want that issue is just the demo.
John, you're breaking up a bit.
We are losing you, John.
Yeah, if I were to.
Sorry, I was saying this issue is just for
VMs, right? vSphere VM.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Now, yes.
This is just do the sandbox on a vSphere VM. Like, I think
Okay,
the other thing is awesome, but I don't think that would be just not one issue.
Sure. Yeah. Well, let me then try Ubuntu virtual machine there. But like the idea is manual, right? It's not automated. Okay. Yeah, I see my manual test run. Let me try it.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I think, Dennis, if you want me to create one more for Tanzu, I can do that as well. If you do think we can do both, or we can just do this one for this release before R1?
For R1, for sure, no. Like Tanzu, it will take more time. So better move it into R2.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah. Let's do this. Okay. And then this one, Wim.
Yeah, so I have there's a few PRs here now. Okay, see, this morning I saw what so I basically so this morning I had pretty good results. So there's two main changes that I did. One is the fact that I put the specializer together into a single controller is helping a lot. And then second, the fact what you also see is that apply replication doesn't like with dashes. So I changed the name to that. So that also was a contribution. Now, and then I restarted my system in the afternoon and now nothing works anymore. And I have no idea what did we do. Did anything change on the port server or something like that, John? Did anything on the controller? I see the packages being created, but then the pipeline never runs.
No, I haven't pushed a new image or anything. It's the same one since I made that bug fix a couple days ago. The error you were showing looked like maybe injection failed or something. Like there was a validation failure.
Yeah, so that one that
Yeah.
I showed, I mean, I've been playing around with two things. So using set value instead of apply replacement, right? So that was an error with set value with the star log function. So I'm using star
Okay.
log instead of apply replacement. So I said, okay, it seems that with that star log function, I always get this. So I removed it. So now I do apply replacement, but it's there I don't get an error, but I never go through. So I have the feeling it's the same thing, because what we do is we basically check whether the context or the workload is there. And if the name is not empty or uninitialized, and then then we basically say, okay, we cannot do anything. And
Yeah, I mean, the
seems
errors are supposed to propagate up into those conditions, and you know, I would check the Porch server logs just in case there's there's some incident where the error happens and it doesn't properly propagate and it just lands in the logs instead. I would check the Porch server log, the Porch controller log. They're supposed to be, like, right, you have to present them to the user. So the idea is that errors don't just get logged, but they get written to status conditions or events. And developers sometimes don't, they just log it. And so there might be certain cases where somebody didn't propagate that the way you would expect. That would be where I would start.
yeah, okay.
I'll be back in an hour or so, and so I know.
Yeah, maybe it would be good if we can. If I still have it, I'm debugging it too. So, but
okay.
Yeah, I did the changes. So there is a big PR with the specializer. I put a comment in it, and then also what I did is I submitted the packages with all the changes, because I mean, for me it would be good for other people to try it out. At least they can experience. So I checked in, and maybe Dennis, it would be good for you to have a look. I added you to the review of the PR. So I changed the packages for SMF, AMF, and UPF with the changes and with the apply replacement. So in 3.5GC.
It's not.
There's a giant merge commit there. There's a giant merge commit, like, and it includes like the entire giant merge. Like your PR has like, it includes like the entire repo or something, like the 3.5GCP. Did you change all those files, or
no,
is there a way we
this
can
is
layer the
it's all the
better?
See, the problem which we have is this, right? Once we did a big test framework, but the problem on the test framework is that you have all kinds of YAML files.
Can we split it into at least, like, for IMF, SMF, and UPF? Work, for instance, on UPF one.
Okay, that's a different thing. That's a different. I can do that. I decided this time not to do so because there's too. But okay, I could do that. So I can change that PR to split it. This one is the other one is right. So the problem is it's actually updating the test file. So the changes inside of the code are very small, but the problem is that so the way the test system of KRM function is that you create YAML files for everything, and so if you do a change, you have to update all of these YAML file, and then we have a big test pipeline.
I think that's not the PR I'm talking about. The one I'm talking about was like in the 3.5GC packages, and it looks like you tried to rebase, but it didn't work properly. And
okay,
so, like,
that's a different one.
Got like, take a look, because it's got like the entire, unless you made a bunch of changes to 3.5GCP, for example, like that entire package is in there. So there's like you might have been working off an old version, and then you did a merge commit, tried to rebase, but it didn't like pull in all the commits from upstream. Yeah, it's a Git issue. It's not a.
I'll have a look at that one. Maybe I'll undo that one and do it again.
I have a question actually. May I delete from 3.5GCP packages SMF and IMF? Because right now it's a legacy, right? We're going to use different version, operator version.
Yeah,
the packages itself, yes, I think you can. In my view, yes. But
yeah, is it also there? I was thought it was not there. Oh, if it is there, probably we don't use it anymore. That's right. Then.
Yeah,
those should be removed from there. Yeah.
Okay, I will do.
Yeah, and this is the PR, right, John? Sorry, Vim 269. I just want to put the reference.
No,
here.
269 is the specialization one.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the one that I'm referring to, but the other one is in 35GC packages.
Okay.
And there I have there's
Like
20 there's
Wim, I will
29 files, but there's not this. I mean, I update 29 files, but it's not this is not this giant PR. So the one I submitted is not doing what you just said, John. So it's just changing the files that were updated. I'm just looking at it.
So if you click on the, I put a comment
269?
on it. Said,
This one.
269 is a big PR. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but that's all the test files. That's the one that I was saying, and that so that is
is
a
that
big
the
one.
one I commented? One of them I commented on, and I said, "Can you do it not as a merge commit?" And I thought when I drilled into it,
Let's see. I'm just reading that. No, not this one.
yeah, this is the one. We don't know. Scroll down. Oh yeah, no, you're not that one. You're not that,
Not that
one.
one. Yeah. Vim's commit, right?
There's another one.
Yeah.
There's one on
35GC.
35GC.
Yeah, I'm in free 5GC here. Pull request. I don't see which one is
I
from
don't
Vim.
see anyone from Wim.
No.
Did you
35GC packages. 35GC packages.
Oh, yeah,
Ah.
okay.
Packages.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I saw that PR.
So update. So click on that, and then you'll see
Okay.
it'll
This one?
say, yeah, click on files. So click on the files tab.
Yes, got it here. Yeah, I'm seeing a
Yeah,
comment here.
scroll, click on files changed.
Yeah.
And then when you click on that, you'll see that shows, scroll down to the bottom to the bottom of the files on the right. Keep going. Yeah. Oh, when I did it, it actually, maybe when I did it, it actually had a message there that said, we're not going to show all this stuff because it's from a merge commit, but now it's not showing that. So did you push a new change or?
I did. I saw. Yeah, I had one of the messages with the merge conflict, but I resolved that.
Okay, this looks better. The one when I saw it before, it literally had a merge commit, a link to a merge commit, and it had like the entire like repo, like in the merge.
Okay.
So I don't know what happened, but it looks like it's figured it out, or a subsequent change fixed it, so we can look at it. Okay, that's weird. It did something different for when I looked at it.
Yeah, this one, right? Merge main branch into the
Yeah,
specialization.
I don't know
This
why
one?
GitHub before, to me, when I looked at it, it said, we're not going to show you, it only showed me like one little tiny change. Then it was like, click here to see the rest of the changes. And it was like, anyway, that didn't even look like that. So I don't know what
GitHub has
happened,
been
but whatever.
acting out for 2 days already.
There, that's what I saw right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I just clicked on that commit actually. When I clicked on that commit, it's gonna show me this view. That is yeah. Can be full
Yeah.
changes.
Oh, maybe I accidentally clicked on the commit. Okay, maybe I clicked wrong. That's possible. Okay, cool. All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a lot of
Wim, is my understanding correct that once this merged, or at least you split it, will look
this
at
is
the
basically
merger?
almost like a rebase, right? Looks like a not really rebase, but merging main into the branch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's like,
yeah.
Okay, maybe
but it's
I did
okay.
something.
It looks like
Yeah.
no. It's that you're drilling into the commit, which isn't really what we want to do. I must have accidentally clicked the commit instead of the PR list. So just forget what I said. It was just a red herring.
Yeah, directly go to if you go to directly the file views for the entire PR, yeah, then we don't see it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry for the confusion.
Yeah, no worries.
problem.
Okay. But I gotta go in and go to the dentist now. So I'll see you all later. Thank you.
Take care, John. I hope you don't get sedated.
Yeah,
No, it's
good
just a
luck.
clean. I'll be fine.
Can we use that as an excuse to sleep on the lease by a week or something like that?
Yeah, there we go. All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, take care, John. Bye. Yeah. Thank you. So
Wim,
that is
Wim doesn't understand correctly. Once this merged, so we will be able to apply our like an operator is present, so we will be able to like deploy
this
IMF, SMF, and UPF.
So this package is the input to the specialization, right? And after when specialization runs, it spits out NEDs and SMF configs associated with these packages. That's what will happen.
So we will have them in blueprints, right? In external blueprint.
You have the input, you don't have the output. The output will be a result of the specialization. Now I can give you an output if you want.
Well, I want everything to be done, you know, like through Nephew. So
so this is the input. So if you put this in, right, into the thing and you apply a package variant set, you'll get an SMF deployment or UPF deployment and NEDs and the whole shebang, right? What I think is important for you to review, I think, if you look to, so for UPF, we have 3 interfaces, N3, N4, and N6, right? And they are all connected to MacVLAN CNIs, okay? So not to the default network. If you look to SMF, yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to look and compare it to what I have done manually. I think this is the idea.
But what is important, what I wanted to explain is this, Dennis. So you will have a mix of interfaces. Some of them are connected to what I call the default network of Kubernetes. And some are connected to the Multus networks, right? And so, for example, how do we differentiate between the two, right? Is that if you put network instance default, we don't give any IPs, there's nothing happening, right? There's no NEDs. And if the network is having, let's say, a network instance that is not default, right? And of course, you need to have a CNI and you need to have, say, I need a VLAN and stuff like that. That case, we are generating NEDs and the whole shebang and IP addresses and stuff like that. So that's the most important thing that for you to grasp. And then you see that certain interfaces are connected to default and other interfaces are connected towards, let's say, the CNI with MacVLAN. So I moved everything to MacVLAN, as you suggested. And yeah, so that's for me the important part to look at this stage, right? Because that's going to be the way, or based on that, we are going to do the specialization.
Sure. Okay. I will take a look. And one case, so like ETH0 master interface, it's also here, or it will be defined in specialization?
Master interface is so coming from the workload cluster. So there is an ETH in the workload cluster file that is going to be injected by John. And we are using that to do the specialization. So when you create the PVS, there is an injection, and you actually see that in the. So if you go to 220, if you open that PR, the 20, the one you just saw.
So basically, he's adding interfaces specifically like for secondary networks. I mean, there will be ETH0, there will be ETH1, ETH2, and then
no, there will only be one ETH. So we only inject one interface because we multiplex through VLANs the different devices. So we'll use VLANs to do that multiplexing. You could so there is a workload cluster file. I think I see a bug probably. If you go to SMF, maybe go to SMF.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to. I just saw a bug. So if you go to workload cluster, click on that file if you don't mind. Yeah. So you see here injection required, right? So that annotation is going to be used by through the PVS, and he will take a workload cluster object in the management cluster that we basically created when we create clusters, and that is having the ETH reference. So so what will happen in this thing is that when we say through a PVS deploy this package, it will say I will deploy to cluster 1, this one to cluster 2, and this one to cluster 3, or maybe 1. And then it will take the associated resource from the management cluster that represent that workload. It will inject that, and that resource has the ETH configuration. And that will be used to then define the ETH interface that it can also be another name, but at the moment we use ETH1. It can be any name actually. And that we are using to then create NEDs, right? Okay. But so the important thing is the default. So if you go to, let's say, SMF N11, right? If you click on that, maybe.
So is that applicable only to edge clusters or even the regional clusters as well?
Yeah, you can do it. We don't care in this package where you deploy it. So if you take a region, the same thing will happen, right?
Okay.
So here you see, for example, in N11, right? The thing on the top, you see network instance default without anything else. Whereas on the N4 interface, you see it's connected to VPC internal, CNI MAC VLAN and attachment VLAN, right? So that's how you see the difference. So, meaning
and VPC internal, it's a network instance. Okay.
Yes, yeah, it's a network instance that will be on which that interface will be connected. Whereas the top one is just the default CNI. So in specialization, we barely say we don't care.
So, Wim, what is the difference? Why do we, isn't it redundant SBA and N11 because N11 is on SBA?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this was what was a config that we got. That's why I'm asking to review to see whether it's still up to date, right? So whether the right interfaces are there, and whether if N11 is just SBA, then we can just obsolete N11 and update it. So that's what I'm asking to review actually, because this was information that we got like, what is it, 4 or 5 weeks ago, and maybe it has changed in the meantime. So, right. So if we don't need N11, we just remove N11 from this package, and then we only do SBA. Right.
Yeah, and also I don't think IPAM is going to do anything with this, right? N11, because these are all default Kubernetes.
Yeah, correct. So that's the way. That's how you express it. So that's what I wanted to explain. So if you say network instance default, right, we will not do anything.
Okay,
yeah, we will not do anything.
Okay. Yeah, then I don't think it should cause any problems. But
yeah, SBA is not required. So we need N2, N3, N4, and N6, I think. And
or
N1.
SMF. Or
for all of them, right? For SMF, it's
okay,
only
yeah.
N4. I will take a look and
yeah. So and add them and comment on it. So that's. But I just want to explain the logic such that you can understand how this thing basically works.
Hi, sorry I joined late. Just woke up. Quick question. Currently we in SMF code that I've written, we're only taking care of N4 and DNN. When this change come in, what will need to be changed?
But you already take care of N4, right?
Yes, N4 is there. The question is whether you need the others or not, right? Whether you need SBA or N11. If you don't need them, you can delete them here, right?
But
so,
wait. SBI will be it's default, right? Or
I think all the other ones, are on the service bus.
Yeah, exactly. They're all cluster IPs. Like this.
Yeah, if it's on default, then you have a service, and then this is how you connect to NRF and whatever. So it's already there.
Yeah.
So are you saying that we need to change current SMF code?
No. I just want to say we have to align the content of this package to how the SMF code or the EMF code or the UPF code works. That's what I'm asking.
Because right now, except for N4, the rest are hard-coded. So if there's change to be done, yeah.
No, I'm not asking to do any change here. I just want to ensure that the content here is aligned with what you expect.
We should. Sorry. If it makes sense, we should, but maybe not for R1, maybe R1 plus.
No, we shouldn't. Yeah, okay. But I even don't think we have to change. But okay, well, we can see how it works at the end of the day.
Okay.
Session can be established what we have right now in the SMF code. Nothing more required. So we need defaults in where SBI lives, and then like N4 MAC VLAN. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't
The
have any
difference-
more.
Yeah, the difference what you will see is that we connect, most likely we will connect SMF and UPF on different clusters, right? That will be a difference.
Well, but this is the plumbing between clusters. It's not,
Yes,
let's say, operator required. So, I mean,
No,
I think working Macmillan connects to physical interface, and then you have a connection through that interface, through the VLAN or that connection to somewhere else.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, so my question is, Dennis is, and Antu is to review the content and maybe remove the things that we don't need and stuff like that. So that's actually my question.
Sure.
So, so is this? I've mentioned 2 PRs in this for this. Is that okay? Or I need to only mention 20 for this one.
So 20 is the packages, right? So 269 is needed to do it. So there was a few changes that I did in the API to reflect that. So, but that is already, so the resource backend is changed. So the 269 aligns with that. So,
okay.
So that's basically what they are.
Cool, thank you. So yeah, please take a look, and Ravi and Liam and Dennis, please take a look at these PRs and provide comments too. So again, this one.
Sorry, before you move on, just to, because I joined late, apologies. The guidance is to look and see if needed, if not, to remove it or comment on it, or
you can make a comment and I will remove it. Yeah, so just make a comment and I will remove it. Not a problem. Whatever you prefer. Yeah, either way works.
But if I decide, let's say I decide I want to add N11, should I change the code now, or it's too late to change the code for R1? We can do it post R1 too.
I would say the least risk at this stage.
Okay. So if any additional changes to the code should be deferred to post R1.
I think so. Yeah. That would be my view.
Yeah. I mean, I'm asking. I'm not proposing.
Yeah, that's my personal view. Yeah, but
okay, cool.
I don't know whether people have other opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like current SMF code allows to establish the session. I think that is good enough for us right now. And if anything has to be done, we can do it later.
Yeah, I mean, less work for me is always good, right? But I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think those IPs have to be handled at the cluster level. You don't, I mean, that is just, I mean, I don't think you want to handle it at a pure level from an architectural perspective.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
So yeah, this was another contentious issue yesterday. I think Wim and John, you both had some good discussions on this one. Do you know which way we are going? Are we going specializer?
So first, I think, I mean, so the first thing is that Stephen had a question whether he was questioning whether it could work or whether the proposal would even work, right?
Yes.
Stephen, you're on the call, because see, one thing that you have to bear in mind, Stephen, the way or at least
problem. Hello.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to say something? I know. I think your question is if. So first of all, so there is a few things that we have to I think understand. I'm not sure whether everybody grasps that. Is that specialization is never done until someone approves. Okay, so that's the first thing. So that means that these reconcile, so the specializer, they get triggered regularly. Okay. So that's the first thing that you have to bear in mind. So they are kind of running actually continuously, because ports every minute they get asked to see is everything that you have still up to date. Okay. And so then they run in idempotent way, but of course if the input changes, they will generate a different result. Okay. So that means that, for example, if an SMF is first rendered and then none of the UPFs are rendered, right? Then this function will not inject anything unless, of course, it has a package reference, these packages exist, it will basically say, I don't have a UPF yet, so I will say my condition is false, right? So, but there can be a case that SMF runs to completion, and that's it. But what we typically see is that, or at least my assumption is that nobody will approve SMF only, they will be approved in harmony, right? So that means that, let's say SMF is not yet, let's say, complete, or it was done initially, and the rest didn't happen yet, then it will run again, and by the time the others have run, right? So as a result, that's how they find each other, in my view. And then, of course, the approval will happen when all the conditions of all these packages that are associated with that original PVS they get applied or approved in harmony, right? So that's the assumption. I don't know, with that explanation, Stephen, do you still believe it doesn't work?
Yeah, but then my question is, we don't know how many UPF instances is going to be there, right? And then if
yes,
they were,
but we know the package name, but we know the package names, right?
So the package is replicated. The UPF package is cloned when a cluster hits a condition, right? So when we discover there's a cluster that matches the conditions that we're supposed to deploy, yes, then we know there is one more instance of UPF to put in, right?
Yes.
So there's no one that would indicate that, right? That's my point. So there's no conditions being set anywhere at that point.
No, but that's why I'm saying is that what will happen, for example, if that package gets created, right, the function that goes to the package will know, because you see that there is no UPF in that package with that package name, and that's how they know, right? So from the moment the package gets created, the function can figure it out, but that's a dependency test. You see my point?
So you're saying that if you deploy an SMF, you expect to have at least one UPF within this bundle, basically.
Yeah, because I mean, why would you deploy an SMF?
With no, no, but then what if you have the second one, right? That comes later on a cluster. So,
what do you mean?
If the target is I'm deploying 5G core on a region of things, and then for whatever reasons, the second cluster, me as a person, me as a deployment guy, a network designer or whatever, is expecting 2, but then the second cluster hasn't kicked in yet. So either the human's able to tell you from get-go that I'm expecting 2, or the software would not be able to know until the cluster is registered. So for whatever reason,
yes, but I think, see, just to be clear, we are not trying to design the perfect system at this stage, right? We are designing just to get our one to work.
Yeah, I'm just saying we have a system. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question.
What we are trying to do is to make something work for R1, right? But because the fundamental issue that I see, or at least, is that you cannot change configuration in the SMF itself and reapply it, right? That's one of the issues that you have.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So the reason why I point that out was I wrote the code for waiting for UPF and before like creating the SMF PVS. The problem for that is it works for a topology where the 2 UPFs are on different NF instance template. So I'm counting them as 1 per each NF instance. But then the moment you do a PVS where let's say you have 2 UPF connected, you have 1 SMF is the destination. The 2 UPFs are referenced off of a single PVS. So at the point of the PVS, I only see 1 NF instance template. So I wouldn't be able to hold on and wait, because if my intent was 2, there's nowhere in the entire design pipeline that I can tell people I need 2. So there's no holding on. So that reference is pretty much. So my point is, this reference is pretty much the same, even if you change it to that level. So the idea would be if I see another package revision coming up for the second UPF that happens to be on the same NF template that hook up, meanings that hook up to the same network. So now you then update the SMF package by telling them that, oh, now I have a config change on the SMF because now I discover a second UPF is being slotted because now you created dynamically, someone created another cluster that you have to do. So I mean, but in a very normal case, that needs to happen anyway. So I'm just saying that why not just slot that into doing the same way? I know, I mean, for 3.5GC, it sucks because we're going to reboot the SMF until it converges. But then that's a 3.5GC problem.
But just to be clear, just to be clear, Stephen, this is how it works, right? So because this the specializer, they run all the time. So let's say you render SMF, right? But then all of a sudden there is a new cluster coming up. It will detect it and it will do a change in the config.
Okay.
So we can do, so this thing works like that. The problem that you see, or one of the things, so it will detect that there is a new cluster is what I'm trying to say, because they run regularly, right? I would like to have them driven in an event-driven way, but at the moment they run at the pace that Porsche schedules them, right? So that's the way it works. So we will detect with this logic that there is a new UPF appearing that is associated with SMF. The
so
problem
how
is,
do you know that? So I guess the question is, does the topology controller have to do something to tell you that this UPF this UPF is connected to this SMF?
No, so I mean, what we will say in the beginning is we say there is a reference of a package, right? So that means that any new UPF that is associated with that package will be put into a package somewhere, right? With that name, okay? So what will happen, this function, what it will do, it will look at all these packages for that reference, and it will assume that a UPF has to exist once that package gets created. And
what's the reference? Is that a package reference? So that's the upstream package.
The package name, it's the package name reference,
But then if you're using, if you can use the same reference and point to a UPF that is not connected to the SMF, right? Or different to SMF. I mean,
but then you can have multiple references, right? So you could have, let's say, a region or another region. So, but each of these, what you will not have with the PVS is that what you see in a PVS is that there is one common name that is used on all of them. That's the name that I'm referring to as the package name. It could be it could represent something else, right? But there is one common name that actually the name of the PVS that gets created, right, is the one that you actually need, because for every new instance you will get a new PVS name. So that's for me the identifier.
For new instance, you get a new PV, but then the PVS is the same, right? I mean, if the
UPF, so every new PV that you get, so let's say there's a new cluster. So let's say you have one SMF, no UPFs, right? And then you get a new you schedule a UPF, right? So the SMF will basically say, okay, look at this association, right? And then for every new PV that gets created, it will figure it out. It will find it.
From the PVS, right? The PVS has got the definition of what the different sets.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they can change, right?
PV's name stays the same, and then the object selector stays the same. The PVs get created. I don't know who. I don't know who slot the name, because certainly that has to be automatic, I'm guessing.
No, there is a flow that you can manipulate the name. So there is, and that's what we are using right now in this injection. So typically packages, repositories, and so there is some names that are always that you typically use for your use case. So during let's say the definition of your PVS, you actually use that mechanism and you can even inject that inside of the package, and that's how you know, basically.
So I have a question.
So yeah, go
if
ahead.
there's a new PV, may I finish?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
If there's a new PVS, how does SMF get told, or how does SMF get informed or handle it? I'm not clear.
So wait, so you will see the result. So you will see later in this in this PR there is, or in this issue, there is a way that you will see it. Okay.
Mhm.
So so that's how you will be. The SMF operator will see the additional or the deletion of UPFs. You will see that through that config reference mechanism.
And then
that's what you-
SMF reconcile loop would handle it.
Yes.
Okay.
So just to, I know I think we're going to run over today, but hopefully everybody can stay for a few more minutes. So Wim, Stephen, how do we want to tackle this particular issue? What is the?
Yeah, that's my big questions. So right now, coming out of the code to wait. So if you use the topology controller, it would basically just create PVS off of every NF instance template. So for if your target is 2 UPFs for that one PVS, there's only one PVS created with one name. And then if there's another cluster that kicks in, another PV get created automatically. And then so the idea would be you can do a reference associations to know that they are connected to a particular SMF instance.
Yeah. So what you have to do for the UPF of the the PVS of the UPF, right?
Mhm.
Somewhere, let's say the name, right? For now, you have to get that information inside of the PVS for the SMF. Okay.
Who is
So what is the name? So the name association. So you're expecting the so SMF itself is a PVS, although it's probably just one instance. And then for that, how do you associate names? I guess in this case, because they're on the topology, the different template. It's just that the topology map tells me that they're connected. They because they're in the same
So
network.
let me. I always need to go back to the to the example that I created myself because it's
Actually, can we park?
Why are you
this
doing
can we park this for a minute and go to the other issues? I mean, I know this is important, but can we get back to it maybe once we run through the other issues? Is that okay?
after that's fine. Yeah.
Actually, I need to leave at 10 because my daughter has a dental appointment. I have to drive her over.
Oh,
Maybe-
okay.
Maybe
Yeah,
those two can sync
sorry.
later on. I think we can
Yeah,
go to
we can sync later. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No problem. Yeah. Thanks for the discussions. I know it's important. So I created a skeleton for this user guide. It's merged in the docs. So basically, does not have any meat, just the skeleton. So we need to put some contents. Probably, Wim, to your point, probably next week we have to do a divide and conquer for the docs. Same thing with this one too. If you if I look at the
Might be I was talking to Timo today, and apparently there might be some Nokia technical writer that we can ask for help. Of course, they have no clue about the content, but they can help with.
Yeah, so it's something like this. I put together at least what the contents that we need to fill in. So same thing with the user guide and the release notes. So I think we have some high level index at this point of time what we need to fill in, and at the same time we have some contents from John in other repos that we can reuse here for both installation and user guide from both the workshop and as well as the official Nephew repos. So are you suggesting so we can make use of a content creator, John, but sorry, Wim, but maybe we need to give the content, right? That's the
correct. No, for sure. But what I'm just telling you that there might be some resources we can tap into. So that's one, right? But of course, what I would suggest is that at the moment my head is towards there's a few things that needs to be resolved, right? So my head is towards that. My view is that next week probably we'll focus on documentation. So what I propose is that we probably have to divide some of these things to people, I'm assuming,
absolutely,
or what I'm suggesting, and then
Yeah, we have sections
then-
like we showed, for example, right? For
Yeah,
example,
with this
in
one.
each of the what's going on with this?
Hey, Vim, is it possible if the technical writer is available to get that person started on it this week? Because I'm worried that, you know, the
This week is
15th
Friday, Antu. So
Oh,
it's like,
And to
Sorry,
there are
you know
two
what
challenges.
weekend? Come on.
but
So
see,
we have
there's a
two
difference between
challenges.
me and the
Not only-
technical
even,
writer.
even if the person is available, we do not have the content to give. That's the
It's
thing. I
not
mean,
the
we need first-
content, it's the fact that the person has to get familiar with what we're doing, and that's the part that they can do, you know, before even getting to technical content. If they don't understand Porsche config sync NF, then there's gonna be more time.
Yeah, I have a feeling that most likely for the next 4 days when the release is, most likely this is going to come out of our group. And then subsequently
Yeah, that's
it
fine.
can be refined. Yeah, most likely it can be refined by the technical actual writer.
Yeah, correct. So that may be the better approach is that we do a first step and then they make it look better, right?
Exactly, yeah. Otherwise, to like Anne was saying, it's a slightly
I agree
different
because
task.
that's what I said to Timo. It's nice to have the people, but they don't understand anything from what we are doing at the moment. So,
Exactly, yeah. I think probably we'll do a divide and conquer, Vim.
Yeah.
The good thing is we are in agreement in terms of what content that needs to go. We have the skeleton. We can just do few of us take some sections and then we can just fill up in parallel next week.
Yeah.
Cool. So those are the 2-3 docs. So we have
Sorry,
skeleton.
Bala, I have to drop. But Vim and Steven, if you guys have a follow-up on the SMF, please include me.
Yeah, we'll ping
So-
you. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
of course. Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks. Yeah, I need to drop off too. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks,
Yeah.
Stephen. Yeah, thanks, Anne. So the UI, do we have anybody from the UI team? I think the package variant is, I think that one is closed. I think I saw that yesterday. The package variant set, I'm not sure. I don't think anybody the representation from the UI. So this one, the defined schema for release versioning. This is one of the things that we wanted to discuss, but we do not have, probably we'll discuss this on Monday. In yesterday's TSC call, obviously the final decision will be taken care by the TSC, but they said from the tagging information, etc., they are looking forward to the SIG groups to give them some recommendation. I was hoping we can discuss it today, but that's okay. We are we do not have Stephen in the call. We do not have John in the call. Probably we have a better representation on Monday to discuss this particular item. How do you want to tag our releases? And we also need Rado also for that one. So this is one more thing when we need to work on. So basically, right now all the packages. I mean, there are two set of repos. We have either free 5GC packages, or we have everything else in the few example packages. Istvan actually brought it to my notice, and then I discussed with John yesterday, and then John was suggesting before R1 we actually do some reorganizations with our repos, especially for the packages.
Yeah, that you
So
can do. I also have I made I made a proposal as well, I think.
Yeah, I saw you. Yeah, I'm just reading that. Yeah. So this is something that needs to be done. So
First we need to agree on a structure, I think, right? And
Yeah,
then
exactly,
if we agree on a structure, reorganizing it is fairly simple, I think, for the packages, because it's just putting package left, right, and center and then putting it around. I think we have to agree on the structure, right?
Right. Yeah.
So my proposal was we have core and references, right? So core, yeah, I didn't even say what core is, but for me these are the two, and then I distinction between core config and core software.
Yeah.
And I think that gives us enough flexibility, because sometimes you see even core packages that we use in different ways. So for example, to give you an idea, is like config sync. We are also deploying in the management cluster, but we are also deploying, for example, during the workload cluster thing, right? And then we have the root sync object, which for me is the configuration of config sync, that we use also in both of these scenarios. So that's for me the configuration. That's how I mentally thinking about it. For example, we split MetalLB in the software of MetalLB such that we can deploy it anywhere. And then you have a configuration file for MetalLB that has specific config for a certain environment. And then you can have another config potentially for another environment, and so on and so forth with other. So that was my mentally on how I was thinking about it. And then we have to decide, is this a core thing or is this a reference thing that we use? And that was my logic on how, when I was looking at it. I don't know whether it resonates, but
yeah, I mean, it is appealing to me as well, the way you said it.
But it means that, for example, we would, so MetalLB and 35DC would all be the same. But so, for example, the operator is the software. The blueprints that we were just talking about are the configs.
Yeah.
You see? But so in that case, we will mix 35DC and MetalLB and copy and stuff like that potentially, right? But I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, in a different directory. Same repo, but a different directory.
Yeah, but of course, what you will see is that now you have a mix of, you could say, infrastructure or so then the thing is, okay, now we mix. And so, for example, 35DC is a network function thing, and we'll have, let's say, MetalLB, which is it's a load balancer at the end of the day. So that's then the other thing is, do you split it further in categories? But I think if you, these 4 things is already sufficient, I think.
Yeah, I think I personally think simple. These are the upstream repos, right? Essentially, these are.
And by the way, I would put all of that in one repo, but have a directory structure. So where you basically have core and reference, and then config and software, right? And put it all in one repo.
Got it. Yes. It's very appealing to me, honestly, because of its simplicity. And how we can easily document it, how users can easily navigate it. It has a lot of appeals to me. Probably we should discuss. I don't know whether anyone has other opinions. I like the simplicity of that because it's all upstream anyway, upstream repo. So then we can have user can see it in one place, and then obviously we can split it as we evolve over a period of time. Anyone has any other opinion on this one? Or you can speak about it now, or please go ahead and update this particular issue with your opinions.
Probably my explanation was not as good because this was 4 o'clock in the morning. I just read my text. It's probably not so well explained. I'll update it.
Yeah. Thanks, Wim. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, which times we confuse which time zone you are in.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is that Sandbox. This let's not talk about this one. This is a nice to have the web UI stuff. So there is one other thing. So there are. Yeah, we are well over. So one other thing John did was he added not this one, just for the this one is done. So there are so he added, I don't know which one is this. You let's see. He wanted to add yeah, he added, if you see John's comment here for the end-to-end testing, he added how exactly this needs to be put in the framework. What is the name for each one of this? So if you see here, this should be added as into test as 008.sh. So he added that for each and every test. So basically, we know when a particular test we are referring to in GitHub, what it refers to in our end-to-end test framework. So everything that is put in this framework will be automatically run by Pro. So that's one of the reasons why he's trying to put a structure to it. So one of my thing for this call was to get the volunteers for these tests. But I have a feeling we are pretty thin at this point of time. Or do we have enough people? Probably we'll go through anyway. Is everybody okay going another 10 minutes or any constraints, time constraints?
I can still continue.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
shame you. I'm okay.
Cool. Thank you. Sorry, this went a little bit longer. So let's go with this one by one. So this one is considered done in my view. Once this PR is merges, I don't know whether it's merged yet, but let's see. Yeah, this is merged. So I will consider this as done. So let me move it to done. And let me also close the issue. So that's good. So so make an end-to-end call with you and same. So Dennis, I think we talked about it yesterday. This test, according to John, he says we need to add it as 0.007 sh, but obviously a lot of things need to fall in place before we work on this one.
Well, yeah, like the main kind of unblocked, let's say by Vim, and once it is there, at least I will be able to test manually, and well, after that, try to write some bash scripts for that.
Yeah, I think this is the structure he's referring to, because anything in the test directory, it will be automatically run. So for each of these tests, he just gave a name, or rather number, so that it has a unique name. So once that is done, Dennis, probably you can start looking into this one once the blockages are removed.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't have a lot
If
of time. I don't have a lot of time next week. I'm traveling to Bay Area, so Monday I will take a look, and on the weekend, but I cannot promise that it will be done by that time.
Okay, that's fine, Dennis. So would you be able to attend meetings, Dennis, next week?
Monday for sure. Tuesday probably not, because I will be flying. Wednesday and Thursday I will try.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, please, I would say I would request, please try to make it to the meeting, so that since Thursday or Friday is our release. Yeah, but I can understand. You'll be attending meetings, other things in your company in the Bay Area. So,
just one question, Bala. So I think if I remember, Wim also said, I mean, you could stop that installation or that end-to-end at some point and then do something manually. Is that possible, or is it like it just goes just to see if something fails? If you want to stop it at certain point, is there some flag to do that?
What do you mean? The installation?
No,
you're
that
talking
script.
about,
So he had he has that progressive scripts, right? 001, 002, 003, and
these
all
are the
that.
tests, actually. These are the tests.
Yeah, but
You
I
go to
think
the
these are all
end-to-end.
adding on to the previous one. I think initially do the cluster, then the
Yeah, this is the
CP,
provision,
and then,
right? Yeah, there are two different directions. This is the provisioning one you're talking about. This is where he has 11 steps. This is about provisioning the cluster and installation. And once the installation is done, then it will start running the tests. So that's where this 001.
okay, no, but I'm saying this cannot be stopped at some point. It goes all the way. That's what I understand. Because I thought he was saying, okay, you could stop it here from a problem misunderstood.
So Rado is here probably. Rado, are you still? If you're still,
That
Yeah.
is correct. Yes.
I need to drop.
Yes, that is correct. So the
Okay, thanks,
the
Dennis.
flow now is after those scripts get after those scripts here in a tests directory get executed, the instance basically gets destroyed. So, well, theoretically, you can, if you have access to GCP, you can SSH to this instance while it's running this test, or create the test that will set. Let's say you did like 10 minutes, so we will put like, I don't know, the sleep in the script for 10 minutes, SSH and do something there. But what's that needed for? I guess that's the question.
No, it's okay. No, because when I was doing it, like, you know, I think he had only till probably UPF or something, and no, CP, I think, and then regional, and then the edges were done kind of using the PVS. But I think it's all there here now, I guess. So, yeah, okay. No, I was just saying,
Yeah,
is there a way to control it? So I was just trying to understand. No, that's fine.
It is. There is a possibility to pause it just by using, let's say, sleep in the script, right?
Okay.
If you want to interact with the VM, but I guess that's the separate thing that Victor's working on. Have also the licenses being up by this script. So I'm not really sure what's the requirement here, but that might be better suited than using the end-to-end, because originally it was meant as, you know, just executing and getting destroyed and putting the results to logs or to the artifacts directory.
Yes.
So
No, I was
guess-
saying, because when
I
we
guess
do it separately, not using the pro or anything, but when we are kind of, when the PR say John says, okay, test this, and we do it kind of, and a lot of it was like after a certain point was kind of following that 10, 11, 12 steps, kind of doing manually. But I was just trying to understand, is there a difference between what, if and does it done by something like Pro versus what we can do? When we do we have a certain control? But yeah, I think details are there in the script. It should be fine. I'm just trying to understand the flow when we do it individually.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Always.
So thanks, Rado. So on this one, this is actually I presume this is, I think manually it's been tested, I guess. So this is to do an automated test for the UPF scaling. Basically, when you increase the capacity, it has to kill the existing pod and recreate a new pod with more resources, CPU and memory resources. So anybody wants to take this? This is basically automating it. So I know Dennis is left out of the call. Obviously he's busy next week. Any takers for this one? Or did we lose the people who worked on the UPF, on the workload cluster in general? That's it.
So this should, is this captured in the README somewhere, or is it like you run? I can do this today if you want, but is this something captured in the README as well, or?
When you say README,
so I mean, normally there is a.
Okay, what needs to be done for this one?
Yeah.
So probably I don't think it's captured in that. Probably.
I mean, is the expectation to run that 008 till, say you do it till certain point? This is what I was asking. Like, you know, if you want to test something like this separately, is it like you run till 007? The system it runs till 007 and 008 is expected to be done manually. What is asked here?
So the ask is to create this. The 008.sh should represent this particular test. So basically, it should increase the capacity, and then it should see to it that the UPF is vertically scaled. I think it's a little bit involved. Wim, if I missed something, Wim, or do we have Tal here? Wim or
So I
Tal?
was just looking to
Tal,
something
I think he
else.
left. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
No, because I remember last time
Which one?
John said something like this. He was kind of pointing to his own repo for the script and for the new script and for the repo and something like that. Or is it supposed to you just merge the PR and not merge it? Sorry, you pull the PR and then test it from your end. Is that how it's supposed to?
Yeah, that's how I'm doing it as well. So it's a bit of a hassle, to be honest. So it's complicated.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I do it. So you make a fork and then you can test local. Or
Okay, I
otherwise you are
can give it a
dependent.
shot. Yeah.
Otherwise you are dependent. But yeah, that's what I always do. Yeah.
Thanks, Ravi.
Yeah. I guess Vish is also here. So, I mean, I don't spend a lot of my cycles thinking about this. So I need, sometimes I lack continuity. So I depend on Vish. So yeah.
The duo,
so
magic duo.
Yeah, I just ask Vish to pull me when he needs some help.
Thanks,
You know,
thanks. Yeah.
some of the cycles are not officially recognized within my company too. So
It's symbiotic. I also learn from Ravi a lot. So
Yeah, that's the magic duo, right?
Yeah.
The magicians.
Yeah. This one.
We do this dirty work.
This one is what is this? End-to-end testing free 5GC NF packages are deployed successfully onto workload test.
this, whenever I think I get the green signal from Wim, do you think I'm ready to do this?
See, the two PRs that I was referring to are mandatory for that, right? So these are. So the problem is, so this morning all of this worked fine. Right now, nothing works anymore, and I have no idea what's happening. But,
Okay. So, okay, I'll wait on you, the green signal from you when you say that.
But I checked in the PRs because I said, okay, maybe it's something specific on my environment. But I already replicated it because I was testing on my PC, which is ARM based. And now I moved to Linux. So I said, okay, maybe there's something wrong there, but so it's the same. So I don't know what's going on.
Okay. This one, I don't think we have Simon on the call, or do we? So I think this work is done. Don't know whether it was. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Did an image with the operator KPT package? Yeah. I think I know the issue. I had to open in the new tab, I think, and that's when we'll know the. Yeah. So we know the status like that. This issue is open, obviously. Once this is in progress, we'll close it once it is done. All right, that is this one is assigned to and she's not. She left the call probably, but I'm assuming she's making progress on this one. The UI one again. Let's. We don't have any UI representation. Most likely, I'm thinking at this point of time, it's mostly a UI manual test. I'm gonna just make that note in the. Don't think we'll be able to automate this one. Yeah. Add a setup of container lab to container.
Yeah, I'm busy with that. I hope to have something after the end of the week. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. We need more clones of you, Web. So
yeah.
NF topology controller, this is under progress. This is we know all these things is under progress. There are PRs out and then the reviews are out. This is the same thing with Edge Watcher too, both from the workload cluster side and also from the management cluster side. So that's all. These are all issues altogether. Yes, all these issues are either with NF topology or the Edge Watcher stuff. I think they're all in progress, in my view, between Tal and Stephen. I think they may all come together at once. There are multiple issues here. I think that's about the board. Sorry, we ran a little bit over. I appreciate everybody staying back for a few more minutes here. So before we stop, any other questions, comments, or any other discussions that we need to do? I assume that as no. Thank you so much. Wim, if you mind stopping the recording. For some reason, it did not give me control for recording this time. I don't know why.
Oh, really?